I wish I could say coming home felt peaceful that evening, but instead, within minutes, I was staring down 2 patrol cars at the gate of my own ranch, neighbors filming, and a woman shouting across the street that I didn't belong. Imagine that, being treated like a trespasser on land your family built from nothing. And the kicker, none of them knew I was the man who oversees every single HOA in the United States. So, Act 1. The conflict sparks. I'm for Lawrence Duval. My father bought this ranch 50 years ago, worked it until his back gave out, and passed it down to me. I just flown back from Phoenix after 3 grueling days of meetings. All I wanted was to breathe in that dusty Texas air, pat my horses on the nose, and finally feel like I was home. So I pulled up in my silver Ford, unlocked the same gate my dad used to unlock, and rolled across the pasture. It should have been an ordinary moment, but across the cul-de-sac, I saw her. Janice Kettering, 60-something, sharp bob haircut, khaki slacks, walking a tiny dog like she owned the street, the kind of neighbor who clutches the HOA rulebook like it's the Bible. She froze the second she saw me drive in, and I could feel her eyes follow my truck. Her lips tightened. Her hand went straight to her phone. I didn't think much of it at first. Neighbors like her thrive on suspicion. It keeps them alive. I shrugged it off, parked by the barn, and started checking on the stalls. The smell of hay, leather, cedar. It was the first moment of calm I'd had all week. Then I heard it, the low rumble of engines, saw the flicker of red and blue lights bouncing across my fences, 2 patrol cars pulling up to my gate. At first I thought, no way, can't be for me. But then the officers stepped out, and my stomach sank. The younger one, Buzz Cut, called out, "Sir, mind telling us what you're doing on this property?" "What I'm doing? This is my land," I said, stunned. "I just got back today. Is there a problem?" Before they even answered, I heard her voice sharp, cutting, dripping with certainty. "Officers, I told you, I've lived here 15 years. I've never seen this man once. He does not belong here." That was Janice, loud enough for the whole street to hear. And suddenly, I wasn't just feeding my horses, I was standing trial in my own yard. Act 2. Escalation and turning point. They asked for ID. Fine, I pulled out my license, handed it over. Calm, steady, my name's on the deed. Same as it's been for decades. But Janice scoffed so loud the neighbors gathered closer. "Papers can be faked," she sneered. "You can't just take his word for it." And I'll be honest, that hit deeper than I expected, not because she was right, but because she was so sure, so quick to strip me of belonging with nothing but her suspicion. The sergeant asked if I had more proof: deed, tax bill, anything. I felt heat crawl up my neck. Really? On my own property? But I knew how this game went. So I went to my truck, pulled out the folder. I always keep tax statements, insurance, invoices, laid them out, black and white. The officers nodded, murmured, "Checks out." But Janice wasn't done. "Oh no," she doubled down, barking. "No one here has ever seen him. What kind of man disappears for years? What's he hiding?" And right there I faltered, because in some twisted way, she wasn't wrong. I travel constantly. I spend more time in boardrooms than barns. Maybe I had become invisible to this neighborhood. I thought, maybe this is on me. Maybe I should have shown up more, made myself known. Maybe if I'd gone to their cookouts, their HOA meetings, she wouldn't be calling me a stranger tonight. For a split second, I wanted to walk away, let them stew in their ignorance, let Janice keep her petty crown. But then I pictured my father sunburned, calloused, leaning on the same fence line where I now stood, accused. He never begged anyone to validate him. Why the hell should I? So I lifted my head, looked her dead in the eye, and said, "You want to know what I do? Fine. I'm the executive director of the National Homeowners Association Board. Every rule you've ever quoted, every covenant you've thrown around, those trace back to my office. When people curse HOAs, I'm the guy they're talking about." You could feel the shock ripple through that crowd. Phones zoomed in. Neighbors gasped. Even the young officer muttered, "That's something." But Janice, God bless her stubborn pride, snapped back. "That can't be true. If you had that kind of authority, you wouldn't hide from us." And I laughed, not kindly dry, bitter. "Hide. That's what you call it. Or is it easier to assume I don't belong than to ask my name? This is my home, not my stage. I don't owe anyone a performance just to exist on land my family's bled for. That landed. For the first time, Janice faltered. Oh, Act 3. The climax and collapse. But she wasn't finished. She jabbed a finger toward me, yelling, "If he's really who he says, prove it. Tell us why we've never seen you. Why you think you can stroll in like you're above us all." I stepped forward, voice carrying across the street. "You want to know where I've been? Phoenix, Dallas, Sacramento, sitting in meetings you couldn't imagine. While you've been squabbling over paint colors and lawn heights, I've been writing the rules for thousands of communities across this country. I don't just live under HOA rules. I oversee them." The crowd broke into whispers. Someone chuckled. Another muttered, "She picked the wrong fight." The sergeant finally cut in. "That's enough, Mrs. Kettering. We've confirmed Mr. Duval's ownership. There's no crime here." But Janice, red-faced, shaking, tried one last defense. "I was protecting our community." I stared at her, steady, almost quiet. Protecting your community is one thing. Targeting people you don't recognize is another. The only person who needed protecting tonight was me. From you, and that was it. The shift. You could see it on the neighbors' faces. Phones lowered, heads shook. The woman from down the street finally spoke. "Janice, everybody knows the Duval Ranch. You just embarrassed us all." Even the officers exchanged looks, one muttering, "This is all on video, and it's not gonna be ugly for him." Janice's jaw worked, but nothing came out. Her pride couldn't save her now. She yanked her dog's leash, turned on her heel, and stormed back to her porch. Not a single neighbor followed. They just watched her retreat, silent, disappointed. I didn't gloat. I didn't smile. I just stood there, folder still in hand, and thought, all this just for coming home. Closing lesson. Respect. That's all it takes. Respect costs nothing, but the lack of it can cost someone everything.